Hello, friends. Let us talk about navigation design in an interactive system. So, how we stressed about the object of design, which is not a computer system or the device, but a social technical intervention as a whole. So, imagine using a word processor. You will be doing this in some particular social and physical setting for a purpose. So interacting is at certain level is about widgets. That means the appropriate choice of the widgets and wording in menus and button will help you know how to use for a particular selection or an action, because this will give you an idea of choosing your own menus, your buttons, helping you to know what about that particular field, about the text area, about the operations using with the help of the action. Then you have a screen or windows which need to find things on the screen and understand the logical grouping of the buttons. Then you have the navigation within the application is that you need to able to understand what will happen when a button is pressed, to understand where you are in the interactions. So when you are in the interaction process, if the button is pressed or the button is clicked, what will happen? So this is the navigation within the application is need to be understood. Then the environment, the word processor has to read the documents from the disk. So in a remote area, you have to swipe to application or sometimes cut and paste if in particularly if you cannot find your own file. So at times you need to going to think that who is going to use it. So looking a structure or looking from paging or page from one screen or page out. So it is rather it is like a difficult one, because how will you it increases the complexity once you do the similar operation like cut or paste. Then you have the local structure. So what is the local structure? It's like looking from one screen or a page out. That it means user can have some idea of what they are doing it and what they want to chase or partial model of the system. But if the users has a perfect knowledge of what they wanted and how the system works, they could simply take the shortest path to what they want, pressing of all the right buttons and link. Then you have the other thing, the important thing is about they make an efficient route. So it's like from goal, from start, from what is the process to begin is about the start to reach to the goal. So they know the efficient route and they make an assessment of whether they are getting closer to their goal. So to know this, to understand it, there are certain things that you need to ask, knowing where you are, what you can do, where you are going, and what will happen, what you have been, or what you have done. So, some web pages are particularly bad in that unclear, which images are poor or a pure decoration, which are links to take you somewhere. So, these things in an information system, they are related but hardly different issue which is known where you have been. So sometimes a broken leg, sometimes you don't know what to do. This helps in your navigations, like where you have been. Again, you move back. They give us the options like go back and so on. So this helps you to feel control and understand your navigation from the information space. So this navigation later helps you to understand where you have landed, what you want to do, whether you want to do a transaction process, and whether you have been working like in an information system that is related but slightly different issue, which is to you know where you have been. This will help you to feel in control and understand your navigation within that space. And the feeling of disorientation where you don't have a sufficient means to know where you are and where you have been lost in the hyperlink, using those hyperlinks. Then you have a global structure hierarchical organizations. That means one way to organize a system is in the form of hierarchy. So this is typically organized some along functional boundaries, that is different kinds of thing, but may be organized by roles, user types, and some other. So you just see that the diagram. That means there is a main screen there is a remove user, confirms, and there is a add user. So any sort of information structuring is difficult, but there is a evidence that people find hierarchies simple than most. And there is a different internal structure for their knowledge, and they may use a different vocabulary. So however much you think is you have got the wording and categories right. So however there is a critical thing in the naturalness of the classifications. Then you have the global structure dialogue. So in the global structure dialogue, you have in a pure information system, or which is a static website just for your readable. There is no links present to go, or it's an interactive one, like you have submitted some information, you have asked for certain information, and so on. So usually there are ways of getting more quickly from place to place. For example, it's a stock control system, or it's a weather report, and so on. So these they would be each in a different part of hierarchical views of application, as well as they cross links in the hierarchies when you get down to the detailed interactions such as editing or deleting in a word. So in HCI, like in human computer interface, the word dialogue is used to refer the pattern indicating the user and the system. So it's like the scenarios just give a one path through the system. It is like what leads to happen, what happened when, include branches and loops, and be more task oriented than hierarchy. So as I said, network of screens and states. There are main screen, remove user, confirm, and add user. So this helps you to understand in a hierarchy way. Well, okay, here we finish with the interactive design of navigation design. We'll continue with iteration and prototyping in the next topic.